Hello everyone, AJB1 here. So, welcome to another new video. I haven't uploaded in a while because this unfortunately took a long while to make, but after watching one of the top 5 made by Subaru, I decided to try to do one with a spin. It's for Youcut 1, my main one. So, let's see how this goes, and the way I'm gonna rank these cars is by how fast they are, how many you see on average, and its redeeming qualities. Fifth, Subaru Legacy 1.5 Turbo RS. The Legacy is one of the fastest 32 cars to ever in game. This little compact 4-door sedan packs a turbocharged Porsche H4 that delivers 200 bhp and 192 lb/ft. It has the handling of its brother, the Impreza, and the acceleration of an Evo 3. It also is faster than the Evo 3 at C1 and the Evo 3 at P3. So that's quite embarrassing for it, and it's cheap at 2.9 million yen I think. It's AWD and basically it's a sleeper. It can do 322 CW, but here's the time I got since my Motorola is not the best to say this. But immediately oversteering into the wall and just tapping on the edge. So I've already lost a lot of time and just barely hitting 200 km on the edge. Fast forward again, and here we go. I made a single mistake yet, and here we go to the dreaded downhill. Somehow managed to make it fast, barely tapping the exit, somehow managed to not do any damage. Coming up on the finish line, 230, 239, 240 km and at 329.7. 4. DeTomaso Pantera. I know that most of you don't have 9.4 million yen to throw away, but how many of these have you ever seen? I have a love-hate relationship with this thing, but it's a great fun but expensive Tier 3 supercar. It packs a 4V8 5.8 liters Cleveland that delivers a punch of 296 bhp and 240 lb/ft. It's FD under Italian skin, you might say. Just has the handling traits of a Viper, otherwise known as wanting to kill its owner, but it actually looks pretty good. It's good but has really short gear ratios for it, as it tops out at 258 km just like the FD, and bounce will break the suspension, or well, traction, and make the suspension unstable, and it will flip you. And if you let off and step on the gas again, you will be dead. It's RWD, and the price throws away the image of this being a sleeper, but have you ever really seen one lapping Youcut or any other map? Fastest time in it has been 317 CW. I have no clue how, but here's the time I got. Lost a lot of speed, and oversteering wide, managed to make it past. Continue on. Here we arrive at the bank turn. A little bit of laughter, but here we go. Pantera on this, how will it do? And it managed to survive, but I somehow did a little tap on the exit that lost me quite a bit of speed. But here we go across the finish line, and we get a 325.6. Third, 4 RS200 Evo. Probably the most expensive vehicle in this list. It's surprising that this little RS200 is good at C1, but this is absolutely balanced. Another wolf in sheep's clothing, it's comparable to FD with the Impreza handling, yet again. It's just a point and shoot, this is the DC2 of C1, and it can take most corners flat out. This little rally car pushes 580 bhp on a 400 lb/ft on a 1180 kg platform. Yes, this small little rally car has more power than the Testarossa and Sprint 3 combined, and it's even more powerful than a 4GT05. It's even more powerful than the Pantera or a C34 or a Carlton even, but the top speed is really crap. It tops out at 244 km due to its rally gear setup, which means it's not going to be a good competitor, but someone somehow managed to do 318 CW. I have no clue how, but that must be a good as well PC. And it's, well, pretty fun as you can almost never die on it, but it's actually pretty expensive at 11.2 million yen. So here's my run. Coming up onto the end of the line and just making it past and narrowly avoiding the divide. 328.1. 2. BMW 850 CSI. This may be a bit too cheap, 3.6 million yen to be exact I think, but it's worth it, trust me. This 850 CSI is a BMW that straight up took the V12 from the McLaren F1 and threw it into a street car, as you do. This car pushes 375 bhp and 406 lb/ft. This lets the car go above 300 km, but this comes with a big cost. It understeers more than the Evergreen. You better be prepared to let off a lot or kiss the wall every turn. This is a car that can do 316 CW when drove properly, and it's comparable to a Ferrari Testarossa and Bentley Brugans in its bounciness, acceleration and handling. But it has some questionable gear ratios to say the least. Mainly you won't be able to take a corner above 5th gear because of how the red line is, but it actually lets you do 300 km/h. So here's the time I got yet again. Coming down onto the downhill, managing to make it, no taps on the exit, and just a, well, good line. That's quite weird on this thing, but coming up onto the finish line, what's the time? At 3:25.2. Special mention, Ferrari Daytona GTB4, the forgotten Ferrari. This brand would immediately give you the idea of performance, but for this thing, mostly everyone hates it or thinks it's just bad. I agree, but this thing is actually faster than most people think. You would immediately discard it as fast due to the amount of bullshit this guy will give you with his amount of wheel spin, but you will be surprised by how good it can be if you dominate the handling and manage to avoid every single bump in the road. This Daytona packs a V12 4.4 liters that pushes 352 bhp and 318 lb/ft. Just don't ask about the suspension, downforce, grip, tires, age or predictability of its handling. If you decide to buy this Jeep Ferrari, it costs about 500. Be prepared for wheel spin and a lot of time on dominating, as bumps will kill you like turns as well. The fastest time on it has been 3:24 CW, but here's the time I have gotten. I have no other line, so I'm going to keep saying that. So, just continuing on, into a downhill, a bit full send didn't work, tapped the wall on the exit, and I lost time. I'll say this about it. That was a really bad run, but the only 3:30 so I got it. 3:29.4, but it could have been at 3:27. 1. Chevrolet Corvette C4, the fastest car of this list, but one of the least ever seen in MRT. This American muscle car packs a V8 5.7 liters, on which they managed to make it push 375 bhp and 370 lb/ft. It has decent handling, and it's mostly based on two outcomes. 1. It will be perfectly balanced and easy to drive, or 2. It will understeer like a pig and be worse than the Judge, otherwise known as the Bentley Blueprints. This is a pretty cheap car, at 3.6 million yen, and it will be fast if you can actually manage to make it work. It's a great buy and I actually recommend you get it. Fastest time is 3:14 by a head cop, and here's what I managed to do. And the last car, the C4, already oversteering on exit, but that's how it was meant to be, just that it was broken at first. So anyway, these two corners, not knowing what gear to take, just taking 5th just in case, and going very slow. So anyway, fast forward a bit. Well, not a bit, practically 2 minutes of the whole track. Onto a downhill, making it fast, and just take a tidy line. Broken tail lights as always. This error on Youcut are getting intense. Just managed to oversteer on the same corner and go into a wall, and managed to finish with a 3:25.1. I know that there are other underrated cars that I could have added, but there are some I forgot about, like C34, Carlton. Those are actually pretty fast, but nobody uses them. I actually forgot about them. And then are some like the Golf or the other TTs like the Neon 4C1. Underrated, but they are slow as hell, so I did not add them. Or for example the FC, the DC2 maybe. Those are slower than the Legacy, so I didn't add them. I don't think they break over 3:25, meanwhile the Legacy is just fast as hell. Or for example the E63 or the RX8 maybe, or the SPX. They are way slower than those, so I didn't add them for that reason. And the fastest cars of this list. Hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching.